Hello, my name is Dr. Samuel T. Robertson the Fourth, Grandmaster, founder of Akamado, and currently 8th Dan in Taekwondo. I do have at least 8 different black belts, um, verifiable. So I wanted to do this video, on why I use the World Black Belt Bureau, why I use them, and I just want to defend them for a little bit. I want to defend the World Black Belt Bureau for a little bit because um, I want to set the record straight. I'm gonna tell you with my dealings with the World Black Belt Bureau and what it was like with me with the World Black Belt Bureau, and I think other people probably have had similar occurrences with them, and other ones probably have something different. Now, this is how I'm gonna say this and word this. Um, just so we're frank and just that we just keep this real. I am 4th Dan Kukyoan from the Kukyoan. So as you know, with the Kukyoan, it don't get no realer than that. Don't get no realer than the Kukyoan there. But there still is people that slip through the cracks, and I want to use this for example, the Kukyoan for example, because there were people that literally bought their black belts, and since then the Kukyoan has cleaned it up. There was masters that got in there, and the masters just used it as basically like, you pay me and then I promote you kind of thing. And they didn't even really test the grandmaster and stuff. There's people literally that came up overnight that people were actually misusing, and now since then the Kukyoan has cleaned all that up. But the same thing happened with the World Black Belt Bureau. There were still people, dishonest people, that was going through there. But let me just say why I still support and I still honor my grandmaster, Kang Ri, and his son, who's now taking over the organization, Young Ri. And let me be straight as an arrow when I say this. I will not tolerate anybody saying anything bad about my grandmaster, and I will not have anybody trying to tarnish his legacy. I will not. I just will not do that. I don't believe you go around talking bad about other people or martial artists. I don't believe you're supposed to do that. That is not the Bushido way. That is not the martial art way. And I see that there's a lot of people that come up in different styles that have no respect. They have no respect for Asian origin or martial arts or any African martial arts or whatever, and then they get into martial arts and they Americanize it, which there's nothing wrong with that. But with that said, you still need to respect where something came from. You just can't take something and just unwrap it and then just say, oh, this is now our own, and now we're going to sit and judge the rest of the world. I do want to say this, though. There are some people sitting up here with 10 Dans that cannot kick over their belt. They cannot even kick over their belt, but they will sit and ridicule somebody in someone's legacy, and they can't even kick over their knee. They got every excuse in the world. The excuses are all the way from my surgery and I was in the military, but they can't do nothing martial art wise other than a few kicks and punches that you could teach a 15-year-old during summertime. And then, but yet they do have the philosophies and they understand the methods and the proper channels of martial arts, but they can't even kick over there. With that said, I know there's some people out there that are handicapped or whatever, but I'm just trying to say there's some people that cannot do and never have done, but then will sit up there and ridicule some people that are trying to better themselves. Now, I'm going to jump into the World Black Belt Bureau and how I came to know them. I went to work for Diversified Youth Services, who then, and probably still do, have contracts with the local government agencies and municipalities. And we went into different schools and we taught them martial arts. So with them, that company, DYS, used the World Black Belt Bureau. Now, some people know the World Black Belt Bureau as a mail order black belt service. But other people like me know them as like one of my grandmasters. I have many grandmasters because I have many black belt styles, and I've been training with different places, and people get old, people retire, and all that kind of stuff. So my grandmaster Oak Cliff Henderson, Olaf Henderson, He used the World Black Belt Bureau. Why did he do that? That was his master. So I want you to see, why did he go with that master? I'm going to tell you why. Number one, if you don't know, Grandmaster King Ree, Elvis came to see Grandmaster King Ree. There are pictures of Elvis, Chuck Norris, and King Ree in the pictures. Not June Ree, but King Ree in the pictures. Number two, King Ree was 7th Dan Kukyoin. He was a Kukyoin master, but he stepped away from the Kukyoin and opened up the World Black Belt Bureau. He's the founder of his own martial arts, Pasaru Martial Arts. So he founded his own martial arts. He had a dojang where people came to train, and one of them was Elvis. Now, another one was Bill Superfoot Wallace. Yes, Bill Superfoot Wallace was already a champion when he came to visit Grandmaster King Ree. But I want you to know, how can you be somebody that is so prevalent that Bruce Lee comes to see you, Chuck Norris, Bill Supervisor, these people are attracted to you, and we're not going to even talk about, we're going to talk about Elvis. So all these people came through. A lot of people got mad and said that Elvis bought his belt or whatever like that. Elvis is a genuine martial. I think people understand that being martial artists, you got different caliber martial arts. I learned this a long time ago when I started training. You got your A-lister martial artists, and those are your Jean-Claude Van Dammes, your Bruce Lees, your these beautiful martial artists that could do some stuff. I mean, really good martial artists. Then you got your B martial artists, like, you know, they still good, your local dojo heroes. Catch them on a good day, and they will basically do some magic. And you wonder how they got from there to there and there and this, and they do crazy stuff like break bricks all the way up high. And then you got your, what I want to call your C black belts. And to me, without the C black belts, we're not going to really have martial arts. These are the people, they really can't really do a whole lot of martial arts, but what they can do, they really spread the word of martial artists. I think people need to understand there's different kinds of levels of black belts. So when I want to say this, it's like, when I just say black belt, I mean in a different term, not in the training beside. You got your black belt that are business makers. They're really good at making business. That's what they do. They're really good business-minded entrepreneur people, and they take their practices of martial arts and they kick it into gear, and they understand marketing, and they go on beyond. Then you have your other people that they know martial arts very well, and they will tell you all the history of it, and they can do it. And then they may not be the best practitioners, but you will sit back and watch them and be like, okay, that's pretty nice. And you know, you look at those, and then you got other martial artists. They're not really that good, but they're somewhere in the middle. And I'm just trying to tell you, that's just like in academia. In academia, you got students that can fly through coursework, and they can answer all the tests real quick, but they cannot tell you the difference between and when it comes to street. They have no common sense kind of things, and some people have both or whatever. But I'm just trying to just parallel with academia. So with black belts, also there's black belts that are teachers. They're really good at teaching. They're charismatic leaders. People are grabbing to them. People come to them. They're really good, and they just those kind of black belts. So then you got some black belts nobody never heard of, and they're really good. They're focused. Their martial arts is really good, but they don't want to teach. They don't want to nothing. They got the martial artists for their betterment of their mind, and you will never see them trying to do anything else other than focus on them. They maybe will go to a tournament, but you will catch them in their backyard every other day. Okay, so there's different types of martial arts. But anyway, when it comes to the martial arts certifications, okay, especially as a professional, you know, you need accreditation. You need to have that piece of paper with your name on it. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's some people out there with not look at any accreditation or no certification. I want to say certification or accreditation. I'm gonna use those interchangeably. They have none of that. They have none of those. But if you step to them on their worst day, when they back hurt, hip hurt, toe hurt, tooth hurt, everything hurt, they would demolish half these people that run around with 10 Dans behind their name. They would run circles around some of these masters and grandmasters. And I'm for real. Then I laugh because I sit and I watch people. I got to train in Japan. And so and I got to train with a lot of Asians growing up. And they would just do some things that I'm just like, bro, can you slow down and show that to me again? for the 8th time. And they would show me variations of stuff that you just would just blow and baffle your mind. So these people, some of these people running around here and depositing on these web pages thinks they the best thing ever. They think they're the Steven Seagal of martial arts or the new June Ree or whatever, but they will not hold a light to some of these masters coming out. They come out the woodworks and I'm trying to tell you. Then you got other masters like me that do not look nothing like a martial artist. But I guarantee you, I can get it from this chair and kick a sidekick higher than some of these people out here. They got these tent dans. I'm not trying to talk about tent dans. I'm just using the tent dan as a parallel because there's a lot of people with tent dan, knife dans, and they're going around and they're depositing stuff on websites, and they're supposed to be the authority. And at the same time, and most of them are not even in like Asian martial arts. They're in Americanized standard martial arts, which is to me is don't come from me, but to me, that's why I train. I train particularly in Korean martial arts. Yes, I do Muay Thai. I do other styles. I do Chinese Kung Fu, Hungar Kung Fu. I do Shaolin Kung Fu. I do that, but most of my stuff is in Korean martial arts. That's my bread and butter. That's where I'm the best at. Yes, I still can do some mean Kung Fu, and I'm super fast and stuff like that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but you won't know unless I tell you. Like Bruce Lee said, if I tell you I'm good, you'll say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm not good, you say I'm lying. But people that know me, they know me. So let's just keep it real. You got other people that just don't even look like martial artists. They're just like, I don't think so. But we're out there. We are out there. And the black belts I put out there and the masters that I promoted out there, they are nothing short of fabulous. There's nothing short of fabulous. So that's one of my masters I train now. It's about time for him to train. About time for him to promote. So anyway, I'm gonna jump into this. So I want to be. I want to come through with my dealing with he's also a bodybuilder. So I want to explain my dealing with it. So now. Like I say, I started with the black belt, but I was already second dan in the Kukkiwon at the time, and this was in 2001. And of course they were like, they were already huge when I got there. Diversified Youth Services were huge when I got there, and when I got there later on, I come training or whatever, and I'm coming from the Kukkiwon and coming from my school, and I'm just like a superstar there. And our technique, we do so much, and it's only because you get so when you go to the Kukkiwon or you train under someone under the Kukkiwon, they're very rich in knowledge. They're all about passing down that knowledge. And there's seminars, like a lot of martial arts schools, they don't have a lot of, like styles don't have seminars where it's specifically a Poomsae seminar. Like I've only seen just Taekwondo. I'm pretty sure there are other people, but they have a seminar just for Poomsae. Poomsae is all what you karate guys would call katas. So I've trained with some of you Shotokan boys. Y'all bad. Y'all some bad boogers, but y'all Shotokan, yeah. Y'all might not be as flashy, but ooh-wee, y'all come through with the wind behind y'all fists, man. Y'all are nothing but short and spectacular. I spent some time in Japan. Yep, I spent some time in Japan. Yeah, y'all, yes, I got mad respect. I used to did not respect karate. I'm going to be honest. But oh my God, now that I'm at the age I'm now, 44 going on 45, boy, y'all, I got mad respect for y'all karate. But y'all came up. Like, when I first came there, y'all were like, he got you. Now you guys are doing spinning kicks and landing on the ground, and y'all got the sport hands. Like, y'all got the girls doing the side kick, the side dang, like in championship. Man, I my hand goes out. Before, I swear, I would talk so, I'll be like, oh, I don't fit to do no crap. But I got mad respect for you Shotokan, you karate practitioners out there. I got nothing but love for you. You Koreans with y'all martial arts, I got nothing but love for y'all. And you Kempo guys, I got a little bit of love for y'all, man. I don't want to mess with y'all on a good day. I don't want to mess with y'all on a good day. So I'm having a bad day, but yeah, I got some nice stuff. You Kempo boys. One of my masters that I promoted is a Kempoist, and he's second in Kempo, and he ain't no joke. The dude's built. He's built, and he's strong, and man, if he gets you with his Kempo, he gets you with his Kempo. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. But Me, I lean toward more of the Asian side, more rich in the Asian sides of martial arts because I want to be closer to the source. But come to find out, I learned more that the Africans were the pretty much the first one that were bestowing it, and they got that from it. And most people don't even know that most Asians came from Africa. So fight me if you want to over it, but I love showing people data. And a little research will show you. And sometimes people don't want to show you, but some of the Asians are going head on and showing you that yeah, their features first came from Africa and they just migrated. So with that said, and then martial arts went with them. So I just, to me, but I still believe in the African martial arts. But anyway, I'm digressing from my point. So let me go back in it. So as I said, as I first came into the World Black Bureau, I was enrolled in by one of my colleagues because I was in a different federation, and I taught what we call the Kukkiwon curriculum, and I was teaching that, which blew them away because they were more karate-ish, and then I was more traditional because my fathers are traditional taekwondoist slash tang sudoist. And I learned was from Grandmaster Sergio, and who's now ninth Dan in Mexico right now. He's the one that taught the Mexican Olympic team and all that kind of stuff for Olympic Taekwondo. And so I was an honor to bump into him as five. And when I was 5 years old, my mother paid for that, and for me to train under him. And later on, I got my Grandmaster. That, believe it or not, through Grandmaster Pacelli. And Grandmaster Pacelli and Grandmaster Sergio both trained my father. They were both the instructors, co-head instructors of the Dojang, and Master Thompson was with them over in Hearst. And I got the look. I'm so lucky that was nothing but God Almighty. That is nothing but God Almighty. But let me keep on going with this. So when I went over there, they were like, "Man, like your martial arts is strong." So I'm a really good teacher because my dad made me learn and how to teach, and he made me help him learn to teach. And if I didn't do something right, man, I might catch an elbow, a knee, or something. Sorry, Dad, if you see this, but I'm gonna keep it real. But I might catch a cross, like you put your arm down too low, and you didn't get bam. Okay, I won't never do that again. But it made me a strong martial artist. So I wouldn't do that to my son, but still, it made me a strong martial artist, and I gotta thank him for it. So so after that, then they enrolled me, and really registered me in my rank into the World Black Belt Bureau. And so, if you don't know, when you're at the Kukkiwon, you have two ranks. We call it your independent rank, or your most dojangs that have a master. And a master may be, let's say he's third Dan at his school. Third Dan's pretty high, but his school may have said that he's a master, and then testing him up to fourth to fifth Dan. But the Kukkiwon, because it's easier for your grandmaster to test you, and then in a lot of these masters, most people don't know, a lot of people are not organizationalists that are black belts. Some of them, they don't know how to use computers. They don't know how to use that kind of stuff. So me myself, I do want to make this plain. There are people out, and this is probably why a lot of people use the World Black Bureau. A lot of people are not computer literate, and there's still masters out there, and these masters out there, they don't know how to get a certificate. They don't know, but they're still masters. Their masters giving them a certificate, and they don't know. But like me, I went up to masters, and I was like, "Hey, look, can I test with you? Can I test with you?" And some of them were like, "Sure, yeah, come on, let's go." And then they tested me, like, "Let me see what you know. Let me see." And I'm like, "I know my pattern. I know this. I know this. I know this. I knew this." And then they're like, "Yeah, I got the time. I got the grade," and they would do it. And to this day, when I go take my tests with the master, I give them my federation certificate. They sign my federation certificate. They stamp it with their security stamps, or they use their foil seals, or some of them just sign their name to it. But I think in my sixth Dan, Grandmaster Henderson, he just signed it. But they always enrolled me into their own federations because they probably already have a federation. But me, I'm kind of person like, if I pay you to fix my alternator, I'm going to sit and watch you do it, and that way I'll never have to pay you again. So I really got to, especially growing up in the Dojang and seeing the Dojang from a little kid all the way up and understanding how everything went. Yeah, definitely, I've created my own federation. But anyway, so I went with them, and then they trained me. I'm sorry, not trained me, but they certified me. Well, what do you call it? The proper term is registered. They registered me into their federation, which was the World Black Belt Bureau. Now, Grandmaster Kang Rhee was giving out guidance, Dojang guidance. He was giving, because he owns his own martial arts school at the time, and he was giving guidance, and also he's a very good spiritual kind of person. And now a lot of people don't know, but a lot of Koreans, they don't fall on Buddhism or Taoism. They fall on Christianity. Somebody must have went over to Korea and did a really good job spreading the word, but a lot of Koreans are Christians. And so with that, Grandmaster Kang Rhee, I think this is my motorcycle thing, but I got my World Black Belt patch on it here. And then I got his rebirth. Rebirth dealing with, if you're a Christian, you already know about the rebirth thing. If not, hit me up. I'll tell you all about the rebirth, man. We'll get you reborn. But with that said, he gave the guidance and all that kind of stuff and the spiritual, and that's what attracted Elvis too, because Grandmaster Rhee was flown around by Elvis to go meet up with Elvis when Elvis was troubled, or Elvis whatever, that was it. Grandmaster Kang Rhee was his martial art teacher and spiritual advisor. Most people don't understand, once you get your first and secondary black belt, you probably already know the style. You just putting more icing on the cake and more decorations on the cake of your martial art cake. But your black belt and your second degree, those right there is your core. Like I want to say, like in academia, your core requirements. Now we're working on your masters now. You got the core down. You could do all the core work or whatever. You done did it. But now you're building onto your core and you're going into specialized field. That's what's equivalent to in the martial arts. So that when they get their masters and that kind of thing. So a lot of people did reach out to the World Black Belt Bureau because number one, it was Bill Superfoot Wallace, and also Elvis, and Bruce Lee came to see him, and then who else came to see him? Chuck Norris. There's pictures of Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, and Grandmaster Kang Rhee together. So when I'm trying to tell you that Grandmaster Kang Rhee was for real, he was for real. He owned a dojo. He was a real martial artist. Now some of these people getting on the internet doing too much, but so basically I ended up, when it came time for me to test, guess what? Grandmaster promoted me, and I didn't care what federation he used. He used the World Black Belt Bureau. So I'm trying to explain to you this: there are people out there that they're not mail order, but they are with the World Black Belt Bureau. It's like my dojang. We have our own federation. Everybody in my federation, including me, goes through that. Okay? Now, when I go test, I'll go outside the federation most of the time. And I'll find somebody. Like I said, I would find Grandmaster, are you willing to test me? I'll make sure that they're the proper rank and they're legit and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then I'll do my test. And then but I still have my own federation, and they enroll me in their own federation, just like Grandmaster did with me. I think I got one of my certificates. I won't dig it up because it takes me a while. But he signs his certificate, and then he puts me through the World Black Belt Bureau. So that was me understanding what's going on in the martial arts. Most people don't understand what's going on in the martial arts and how the certification goes. I was privy to learn, and learning under Grandmaster One Cheek Park on Dojang etiquette and Dojang organization and all that kind of stuff and how's everything done. I learned a lot from these Grandmasters as a young man. So right now, I put that to work on my own. So anyway, I'm going down. It came time where we needed to go down there and meet Grandmaster, and Grandmaster was going to go give us guidance and this like that. And he always would give us guidance and correspondence work and then that kind of thing, and it trickled down. And of course, my Grandmaster Okloff, he went up there all the time. That was his master. So it finally came time for us to go down there. When I went and I met Grandmaster Kang Rhee, he was a positive. I could tell he was mad at me. Now this man was mad at me because I don't know. I ate a crepe and I got food poisoned, and during the meeting I had to go to the restroom, and he was like, "Well, you're supposed to be learning." He's teaching us how to teach. He's going through everything we need to know, and my stomach is bubbling, and I gotta go. I had to step over masters and grandmasters and make step over, black belts. And excuse me, man. Excuse me. I done ran in the bathroom, and my master kicking the door. He's ready to fight me. But then when he smelled how bad I was turning that bathroom up, he told me, he said, "Sorry, Grandmaster, I really should put this on there." But he says, "Ooh, I see you using the key against me. Ooh, you are hurting. You hurting, ain't you?" I said, "Yes, sir. We ate that, whatever that crepe thing was over there. My stomach is tore up." And so we got out there, and but I was still able to get up there and demonstrate my martial arts to Grandmaster Kangaroo. And Grandmaster Kangaroo, he got master. Everybody has a name with him. Some people, he like nicknames. Other students, other masters do too. And Grandmasters, they give their students their own names, and that way, that's how they remember them basically. But I remember they had Master Jaguar. I was like, oh, Master Jaguar. I'm waiting to see what my name's gonna be. And I get up there, and the man, and I did butterfly kicks, or what I call them Autobahns. We call them Autobahns. But back in that day, they called them butterfly kicks. But I did butterfly or Autobahn roundhouse kick, and I did them up and down the dojo. Back then, I had none for me to jump or stick something in the air. I'm not even playing with you. As a child, I literally could jump over a car, like a car, like a Honda. There wasn't no big trucks, but back then, like, well, maybe there were dualies, but I would jump over them sedans like it was nothing back in the day, and I was doing the butterfly kicks, and you know what he called me? Master Butterfly. I was like, dang, man, they got butterfly. You know what? I'm gonna embrace it because that's Grandmaster Kangaroo. So we got to get. I got to meet up with him and talk with him and understand him. And this guy. He was a spiritual leader for Elvis, and he was a martial artist, and he was well known. I'd say he was because we lost him, and we lost a great martial artist. And some of these people out here are upset that he started pretty much what I want to call, what they're calling a mail order martial art thing. And I'm going to explain this to you. Later on down the road, I left DYS. Opened up my own martial arts school, that whatever. It's time for me to test. I waited my time and grade. It's time for me to test. Well, guess what? The only thing around me are my competitors. And you know what? My competitors do not want to promote me. They're like, no. When I came time, especially with the Kukkiwon, I called everyone trying to get tested. My master himself that I got my Kukkiwon with, they had closed up shop. And then and the other master, whatever like that, he couldn't promote me. It's a whole bunch of, it's a lot of politics in martial arts. So, and that's why some of these people are upset with the World Black Belt Bureau, because those politics are not there. But there are people that abuse the system just like anything else. You can have something secure and locked, but people still abuse. And yeah, there was people that abused the capabilities of getting their black belts or getting their promotion. So there's two type of ways you can get promoted in martial arts, and most people don't know. You can test. Like I just got through testing a grandmaster for his 6th Dan, or you can be processed. Process means, you've waited your time, you made it your grade. We're not gonna waste time with the whole class and this, that. I know you still train. You've been seeing you kicking on Facebook. I seen your students are champions, and I saw the video, self-defense video you put out a couple of days ago, or your publication. Or I went to your dojang the other day, and you was doing this and doing that, and all this other kind of stuff. And then if you get old and you got bad hips and backs and stuff like that, and you can't kick like you used to, and all that other kind of stuff, then yeah, you can still test, because I still tested the Grandmaster I tested last night, or night before, but the night was night before, but you could still get that done. And the funny thing about it is, when you could take your test with the World Black Belt Bureau, you could send a tape in the mail, and Grandmaster would sit and watch it, and he would grade you on that. So it was a thing to where you could do it. To me, I think it's a beautiful thing, because there's people out there in the middle of nowhere that can't do it. And like I say, there's different levels of martial artists. You could tell, like, I like this. This is what I like to say it. So you got a 5-year-old, right? You got a 5-year-old, and this 5-year-old's trying to train, and he's still getting his motor skills down. You could tell this kid can't count his hours getting his fun, but maybe he don't pull his arm all the way over, or maybe his punch is a little bit turned. He doesn't turn it all the way over. Or maybe you could tell this person really can't. So you're gonna go ahead on and pass them, because they have given their martial arts. When you test somebody, you're testing it on their level. Now, some people you can go in there and, like, I got a student. If I asked him to jump over a car, he can jump over a car, and he'll just. Like, he just does it effortlessly. But sometimes I have to tell him, use tenacity, use intensity. And yeah, he'll snap it. He'll do his tenacity. But sometimes he doesn't. I have to get it. And sometimes you could tell when people are taking their tests that they have not trained, they have not get their best, or they were just coasting. but you still know they meet the curriculum. You want them to go a little bit harder or whatever. So yeah, he probably was grading some of these people out there, and it came to a realization that some of these people, but they still are black belt level. They still meet the grade. Not everybody needs to be high super caliber. Not everybody can be Van Damme. Not everybody can be Bruce Lee. That's why we adore and love those kind of beings. Everybody can't be Cynthia Rothrock. Everybody can't be them. So I mean, but there's still people out there that are like Jenny Press, who's like a phenomenal martial artist, phenomenal person, beautiful personality, and that kind of thing. I didn't even know that I outranked Grandmaster. I thought I had reached out to her for my next Dan test in Taekwondo, and I did not know that I outranked her. Like, I can't believe that, but oh my God, like. But I know I started when I was 5 years. A lot of people they didn't get into it. And then the other thing is, a lot of people don't realize this in martial arts, is that you have to have the time and the grade to get and the money. You got to have the money to promote. Now sometimes I got a soft heart. I'll hear somebody's problems and stories or whatever, and I'm like, man, you've been trying to, but you had the time, you had the grade, and you was in the backyard doing the push-ups and the kicks and all that stuff, but you just never could get in front of the right person. To me, that was what Grandmaster Kangri was. You could not get in front of your master. My master at the time, when I promoted, I think for my, you know what? Fourth, fifth. So fourth, I'm trying to remember back. Yeah, okay, so that's how I used to, I'm trying to remember how I did it. So yeah, for my fifth Dan, I tested under Master Ben Wolf at the time. And I then took my fifth Dan certificate that he signed, and because I still believe in the Black Belt Bureau, and I still wanted them to be around, and I'm going to explain why. And I took my certificate from Grandmaster Ben Wolf, and I used that certificate to enroll, to not enroll or register would be the proper word, to register with the World Black Belt Bureau. So I already got my master's signature on there that tested me, or I want to call him my examiner. He tested me. He didn't process me. He tested me for the fifth Dan at the time. My fourth Dan was already with the World Black Belt Bureau, as I said, when I was working with my previous employer, and that's who they used. And who am I to complain about who they are? But, and again, I already knew how the organization works, so of course I created my own federation because it was for people that couldn't afford it. Because some of my students, they were poor. They were poor people, and they couldn't afford to test and this and that, and I didn't have the money to send to the federations. I didn't have that. I just didn't have it. So what I did was I created my own federation, and then all the black belts, I tested a lot of black belts and knew a lot of black belts. I had them join my federation, and then that way we was a certification entity on our own. So so with that, so I enrolled, and then last time, this was my fifth. So my sixth test, I have big ones. These are the little one backup ones. I've lost a lot of my certificates, but my sixth one was signed by Grandmaster Olaf Henderson. So I had them sign my certificate, and then Grandmaster, he enrolled me back registered me back in the World Black Belt Bureau, because we basically showed that I promoted. So my examiner. So in martial arts, I'm gonna explain this too. In martial arts, you can have an examiner, like an examiner will examine you and then report back to the Federation or Bureau their findings about you. So like with the when I tested under the ISA through Dr. Grandmaster George Petrona, when I tested under him, he registered me, of course, in ISA, and then he registered me with the Kukkiwon. And I don't think people understand there's different types of Taekwondo. There's ITF, WTF / Kukkiwon. There's different types of Taekwondo. So you can, like me, I'm a multi-certification in Taekwondo because there's different types of Taekwondo. A lot of people, when they think of the Kukkiwon, they're thinking of sport Taekwondo. And I do want to be distinguished from them that I'm a traditional, and I still do Olympic Taekwondo and teach Olympic Taekwondo and old school Olympic Taekwondo at that, because that's the bread and butter. What you talking about? The double crescent kick to the head. It's before you fall down, but you can't fall down no more. So so that's how I used it. So that's how I used the World Black Belt Bureau. Now later on, I liked using them too because it was a lot of times that I could not pay to test. I could not pay to test. I did not have the money, but I still had a dojo. I've had a dojo since 2001. I've been teaching since 2001. Like I always found somebody to teach, and I always kept going with it. And I just didn't have anybody, and I kept up with my patterns and all that kind of stuff, or katas or pumse, whatever you want to call them. I kept up with all that. I just didn't find a master to test me. So what I did was, guess what? I looked around and I asked other masters to test me, and guess what? I reached out, and the grandmaster had reached out to me before, said, it's time for you to test. It's time for you to test. They can see on the computer how long in your time and your grade, and they know, a lot of times I would send my black belts through the World Black Bureau and still put them through my federation, because this is what I tell you when you come to me. I'll say, okay, all right, you got your black belt with me. Do you want to go with the Kukkiwon? I'm just going to be like, I don't know, it's like $200 or something. I don't charge them crazy. Enough people charging thousands of dollars for somebody to roll somebody into the Kukkiwon. I don't do that for now. I don't know, maybe I should. Maybe I have more money. But I've never been that person that just wanted to I wanted to be the affordable person for the people. Look, so this is how I am. If I'm not your friend, I'm not your master or your grandmaster. I'm gonna see who you are as a person. You will never be some person. I promote somebody I don't know. I'm gonna get to know them and see what's in their heart. And once I understand them and see who they are, and there's been people I've turned down before. They wanted to come train with me. I'm sorry, I wouldn't train them because I could just kind of tell them they were deep and stooped into their let's see, how could I say this? I don't know, their culture. Yeah, they were deep and stooped in their culture, and I don't want that brought into the martial arts. I don't want that under my name, and I don't want that under my students, and I don't want them to outrank my students. I don't want that in my. I've learned the hard way to be careful who you let in your classroom and let around you. Like, I've learned the hard way. So no, I've turned down students. I very rare do I turn down students, but I turn down students. But sometimes you have to. There's all kind of crazy sex offenders going around. Like, if you're gonna bring somebody in your school, you might better do a background check. You can do a free background check on somebody and make sure, or just have a little thing. You pay $12 a couple of times, and for that period, you can run everybody that comes to your dojo and make sure you're not letting Chester the molester in your school. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is going to read them, and discernment, going to let you know something maybe or whatever. But you go in and you run them through and make sure and protect your students. But anyway, so then when it was time for me to test again with them, Grandmaster Reed was telling me test. I was like, Grandmaster, I ain't got the bread. Grandmaster, I don't care. You need to test. So finally, later on, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on and test it. And it was me watching Grandmaster Thornton, but she's about the same age as me. And a very beautiful woman, and a very beautiful minded woman too. Very nice spirit, like a very nice spirit, a real good, positive woman. And I was like, she encouraged me to test, so that's when I reached out, and I was like, I really can't, test. I couldn't find anybody to test under. So guess what? The Bureau said, okay, we do recognize that you did test locally, but we are going to make sure to get you back to your original rank that you are. And they didn't even charge me. That I should have been, because you have your time and your grade. It may take you. So when a lot of people don't know, to go to your second degree, you need to wait 1 year. To go to your third degree, you need to wait 2 years. You need to go to your fourth degree. Your fourth degree, you want to wait 3 years. So we're going all the way up to 6 and 7, 8 Dan. That means for me to go to my 6th Dan, I'd have to wait 5 years. So you mean to tell me I'm going to have to sit at that rank? Now I'm trying to go to 8th. So that means I'm going to have to wait for 7 years to get to my rank. I may not live 7 years. And technically, to tell the truth, I was in the motorcycle wreck, if you don't notice, with my black eye, and my face is cracked right now, and my jaw is cracked, and all that kind of stuff, and I'm still waiting to go through surgery and that kind of thing. I would have died and never even get to go to my 8th Dan. So luckily, with the Kukkiwon did the similar thing, because I was second Dan in the Kukkiwon, and I had my time and grade. And Grandmaster Petrona, Dr. Petrona, he already had known, because I was reaching out to him a long time ago. And, we were Facebook friends and all that kind of stuff. And he's been seeing me in there. He ain't seen me on the news or nothing bad bad that I did or anything like that. And I'm still promoting martial arts. So he's like, yeah, man, let's test you. Let's test you for your 4th Dan. Now, that costs some money. But in the martial art field, if you want to get into the high rollers, you're going to have to pay some high money. I'm just so sorry. You don't need a piece of paper to say that you're a black belt. You don't need it. Now, later on down the road, you do want to start teaching and stuff. You need something so people can see that you're an instructor and that kind of thing. That you really do need that. You need certification when you start teaching, but sometimes you don't even need that. It was two ladies I know that teach in a couple of things over. They don't even have black belts, but people still take their kids to learn from them. So, and there's another lady I know. She's not a black belt. She's like a blue belt, and but she's a really good teacher, and a lot of people go to her. So I'm not trying to say you need to get these certifications, but at the same time, you do need to show as a professional martial artist in the field. You need to go head on and acquire those, and sometimes it's going to cost you some money. So the World Black Belt Bureau really doesn't cost that much money. But if you, as you know me, I've already told you I have my own federation, and I also told you I've used the Kukkiwon, and I also use the other, basically the ISA, and I'll use the World Black Belt Bureau. So me personally, I enroll myself in multiple martial art things, and if it's affordable, I'll go ahead on and I'll register in there or whatever like that, just so I have more accreditations. It's like when you go to a college of adult learning, you'll see a whole bunch of accreditors. They'll have more than one. They'll have them all listed down. It might be 3 or 4 or 8, all the way to 9 or 10 of them. Accreditation. So to me, with the same thing, I'm like, I'm gonna be multi-accredited. For that one person, and I had one older guy, and he's like, da 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 da, and I don't think your stuff is this, that, the other. And I'm like, here are my certificates. I was able to go up and gig up and find, like, this one's still signed with ink. This one's still signed with ink. This one right here is still signed for ink. And these are the backups, by the way, because I don't even have the originals. The originals were big, but I still have the understanding to have them signed backups, because who knows, they may pass away or whatever, or they may disappear, or something like that. Somebody's master wasn't my master, but somebody's masters went to jail, and you don't want to show nobody that certificate for what he did. So I mean, you still want to get your thing. So that's why with the Black Lotus Martial Arts Society, and also the American Federation of Korean Martial Arts, who now those two I manage, and we have a board. We have 2 separate boards: a board for the federation, for the one, I call them one high and one low, but they're both still. And it gets people time to practice and you get everything together with the organization skills. But the society, the Black Lotus Martial Arts Society, or I want to say the Order of the Black Lotus. That's what we tell each other. But the Order of the Black Lotus. But those are your high ranks, your high dans and stuff like that are in that, and that's more like your governization of that. And then it's a pool of different martial artists. And then the other one, it does have other high martial artists in there too. We do have grandmasters and masters in that one. That's the American Federation of Korean Martial Arts, and I was letting other people do it, but now I've pretty much taken over it until I can find somebody that want to take over it. So if anybody's out there not money hungry, that wants to do help martial artists get to their certifications and stuff like that, reach out to me and that kind of thing. But now the funny thing about it is the Kukkiwon's doing the same thing the World Black Belt was doing back in the day. So you still got to go and you got to get your you still got to test organically for your first, I think, second or third or something like that. And then once you have that and you're in the master status, and like I'm right now, I'm enrolled in the master status, then you can promote with the Kukkiwon via video. So it's the same thing. The reason why I use the 2 is because the Kukkiwon is the mecca of Taekwondo. There's no better certification you can get than the Kukkiwon. The Kukkiwon has a lot of politics and this, that, the other, but it is the hardest one to get. And that's why I'm 4th Dan with them, and then I'm 8th Dan in World Black Belt Bureau and all the other, and the U.S. Grandmasters, Grandmasters, and all these other kinds of things that I've joined, and that recognize my rank, and they've registered me under those ranks. So with that said, the World Black Belt is one of the ones that I've used, and since Grandmaster Kang Ree has passed away, and we lost him, and I was warned by my master, because he kept telling us we don't know how much longer he's going to live. Now I don't know if he knew if he was sick or whatever, but he was urging us to go down there and meet Grandmaster Kang Ree face to face, and not just know him as a signature or see him through him. Grandmaster Henderson, our master, grandmaster. So with that said, so it's sad that we lost him, but his son has picked up the torch, and his son is running with the torch. His son is running with the torch, and he's doing a good job. And me myself, I'm up for my next ninth Dan test, and if I can't find, usually I go to the Black River as my. Always gonna go to them because, and I'm gonna go to them for these reasons. I'm already gonna test under somebody, then I'm gonna roll in there. Number one is because my peers are in it. A lot of my black belt friends and the people that I work with, DYS and the other people that they knew, like Master Mini and all these other martial art, there's so many great martial artists, and they go to these tournaments and they bring their students and all that, and they sit in the judge. A lot of them are part of the World Black Belt Bureau. They might not tell you that. They may not show you a certificate, but they're part of them. Because if Lord knows something happens, like, for instance, one guy, his grandmaster, like the guy I tested, the grandmaster I tested the night before last, his grandmaster retired. Now, this dude took his first black belt test in 1978. So, so good luck for him to go test on his grandmaster. But luckily, I have the power to do it, and thus I did it for him. And it was an honor to test him. He does want to get enrolled into the World Black Belt Bureau, and I'm going to tell you why a lot of people still go for the World Black Belt Bureau. Number one, my peers are in it. So you come from me, you coming from my whole crew. And when I tell you I run with some dragons and some tigers, I run with some dragons and tigers. My friends can kick over their waist, and they're older people. And they got a lot of young masters that coming up under them. They're soon to be masters under them. And there ain't no fakes or frauds going on around here. You best believe that. They got some power. And I use that. That's why, because my peers use it, number one. And they respect the World Black Belt Bureau. Therefore, I respect the World Black Belt Bureau. And you'll never see me talking bad about the World Black Belt Bureau or anybody else's organizations, because I don't want them to come for me. I just don't. And plus, the Bushido code is you don't disrespect and dishonor somebody else because their methodologies in martial arts are different. Even though you may not approve of some of the things or practices, they're still a black belt, because you will make fun of that same student, of that same martial art person, and then you take your student or your master or somebody, go there and spar them and lose. Or you or that master may be the best, whatever like that, and he's legit, and his student is not as legit, and that same person that they call with fraud or whatever disrespect, go in there and mop the floor with that student, that the one that's supposed to be a fraud. I don't understand how you have a fraud that can teach somebody so good that they beat the pros computers and the people, the most esteemed martial art instructors, and that there. But nobody just walks in and that student, that's the way it is, and that's why we're respectful. That's why we don't go talk bad about other martial artists, even if we don't agree with the practices or the way they got their rank. I think it's one guy I know, he got his rank from his wife, but I ain't for the DACA, because at first I thought, but then I thought about it. Let's say your wife's your master and you tick her off. She makes you drop a do 20. Or your master's like, for your black belt test, she finna bring Bolo's grandson in, and you got to fight Bolo grandson, and here you are standing in front of your peers, your mama and granny, and everybody looking at you about to fight Bolo Young's grandchild. And he, every inch knew the new upgraded version of Bolo Young. Another reason why you don't talk bad about other martial artists too is you never know when you step into one of those, go to some of those tournaments, and you go up there and that match will be right there for you. At any times, somebody could turn on the mics in the rings and say, okay, we're going to have an exhibition match. I understand you guys were beefing on the internet. Let's really see if your style is as good as that you say, oh, my back, oh, my this, oh, my, no. It's time for you. We're martial artists. We're not, yes, you can get your degree in philosophy in martial arts, you know what I'm saying, martial arts science. You can philosophize about martial arts. You can philosophize all day. But we're practitioners, okay? So practitioners need to be able to get in that ring and throw that foot in that fist. That's what they need to be able to do. There are no excuses. Oh, my spine. No, well, you shouldn't have said what you said. That's another reason why. You never know. You may run into that person. Another thing is, you never know who the last man standing is. That may be the very person in the organization that you need in order to get to your dojang or your student to the Olympics, this, that. You don't know. You never know how high the pedestal goes. Some people may start out with shady, and then all of a sudden they done work their way up. They done got with another grandmaster that's pristine. Another master checked them out and said, yes, this person is high caliber. Don't believe me? Look at his practice. He may have needed this or that and this little polish here and polish there. And now that's a shining star. But everybody else was looking at him like, you came from that school? So that's why I say to myself, you don't sit up here and disrespect other people, martial artists and their other martial artists, and you definitely don't disrespect someone that's passed away, that's done more. To me, I'll just say this way. I'm going to just say this. I'm sorry, I'm preaching. But it really, so I'm like, did Bruce Lee come see you? When did Bruce Lee come see you? Did Chuck Norris, you got pictures with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and Elvis? You don't have that with you? You don't have that? You don't have pictures like that of stars? You don't got a picture with Cynthia Rothrock or nothing? You don't got no pictures with Bruce Lee, but you finna sit here and be the authoritative on martial arts and all them other martial artists and those that came before you and your elders? And you're gonna have the tenacity? You don't have it? You don't even have as many students that he had. Not counting the students that he helped get promoted online or mail order or whatever it is that he was doing. But he had more instructors than some of these people got students. Some of these people you can't even open a dojang. They tried to open a dojang and failed, and they sit on the computer and use this keyboard and type on this keyboard and will tell you everything about the aspects of martial arts, but they can't teach it. So what I say is this: the philosophy is this, though. If you can't do it or can't do it anymore, as far as then don't sit up there and tell the people that are doing it. Don't sit up there and tell them that. To me, the other reasons why not only are my peers are in there is you can still got a perfect backup plan if you need to get promoted. You never know. Your master may do something they don't spell. Grandmaster might do something. My grandmaster retired. He's retired. My grandmaster, he says, I'm done with the politics, but he still guides me and tells me what I got to do and tell me how I need to shape my life. But shout out to Grandmaster Pacelli. Thank you so much for talking to me in the middle of the night, explaining to me and guiding me what I need to do, and being a good father figure with Miyagi in me, basically, and showing me what I need to do to better myself and better my students and better myself as a man. Nothing but mad respect for you, Grandmaster Pacelli. None but a gratitude to you. Thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you so much. And he's working with the special needs. I have nothing but respect for Grandmaster Pacelli. And thank you so much for Grandmaster Oak Cliff Henderson, who's still out there on the grind. When I came in 2001 out the Marine Corps, this man is still out there teaching martial arts and still out there running a martial arts school. Still doing it. Like, I have nothing but respect for this man. And guess who he uses? The World Black Belt Bureau. So, come on, man. The man's got skill, teaches, all that, goes to tournaments, places in tournaments. I ain't not mad at you, Master. Like, Grandmaster, I'm not mad at you. You do you. I'm proud of you. Like, for real. Like, I have nothing but respect with you. I may have, my time and grade may have kicked in, and because I've been doing it for a while, and I was able to documentate, and yes, the Bureau did bump me up higher than what he was, but I still see him as my Grandmaster. I still see him because he's my elder. And that's the thing about the Bushido Code. Not the Bush Code, but the Bushido Code is that you respect your elders. I don't care if you got more stripes in your belts than me. If you're older than me, I respect you. I still respect you. And if you have more stripes than me, that's impossible with my age and got more stripes than me. But it is possible. But I don't care if I got more stripes on the zebra. If you're older than me and you've been doing martial arts and I've been doing it more than you, but you still older than me, you got some wisdom behind you that I don't have. And I need to be connected to you because iron sharpens iron according to the Bible. So I'm going to respect you. I'm not going to disrespect you and all this other kind of stuff. No, man. But I'm done. It's a backup. One of the masters that I tested, he was able to, his house burned down and all his certificates got messed up. A lot of my certificates are waterlogged because my house flooded. So, but at the same time, he was able to, and I was able to reach back, and they said, oh, we got your records here. We got your certificates way back from when your master uses us. He didn't know his master even used the World Black Belt Bureau. I'm going to tell you why. You need someone to keep up with all your records. These people, you people don't realize that we're generations apart from a martial arts system dying, and generations apart away from people not being able to test. But if your grandmaster used that federation as a backup, like me, I use them as a backup. That's pretty good for you to do that. Now, I don't care if somebody may have misused grandmaster or whatever like that, and tricked grandmaster, and grandmaster did issue them a certificate or whatever like that, or whatever. I don't care if that happened. You shouldn't have been dishonest, because there's people out there training monkeys as black belts. I know, because Grandmaster Henderson told me never to train a monkey and give him a black belt. There are black monkeys out there with black belts. I mean, for real, live monkeys that can do kicks and jump kicks and throw yous and all that. These dudes sat down and taught monkeys martial arts. I would never do that. I'd find a human. But I'm just saying this point. So I'm just like other people. So if you tricked Grandmaster or whatever like that, but since then you ain't ever heard anybody trying to trick Grandmaster since then. You never heard anybody else with a similar story come out or whatever like that. So no, I ain't trying to hear that. I have nothing but honorary respect for my Grandmaster. And I tell you what, like, I really hate to be this way, but if you, I'm gonna do exactly what one of my best friends did with martial art. He was a Shotokan karate master. If you don't like the black belt that I wear around my waist, you're more than welcome to try to take it off me. Go ahead. It's just like that old country song when he says, somebody said he's gonna take the hat off his head. If you don't believe me, go back and look at it. So I want to make it clear that I honor and respect the World Black Belt Bureau, and I honor and respect Grandmaster Kang Ree's legacy. And I don't like people tarnishing him. My Grandmaster was a good man. He had innovation. And nothing in this world is perfect. Not even our government's perfect. I haven't yet to see any perfect organizations anywhere. I have not seen any perfect martial arts school. If you look long enough in any martial arts school, you're going to find a scandal. They might have worked pretty good to cover it up, but there's some scandals going on out there in the martial art world. So you look hard enough, ain't nobody perfect. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, I think these people, but anyway, I'm done. So this is why it's been nothing but a positive thing for me to be in the World Black Bureau. No, I just don't use just the World Black Bureau. I really use other organizations out there, and as well as the own I created. And then they're all, I make sure they're all interchangeable. And my students when they enroll, they can go with our federation, our sister federation. They can go with the World Black Belt Bureau. They can go with the Kukkiwon. They can go anywhere there. They can go with the ISA, whatever federation they want to be in. As long as we're part of it, we'll make sure that happen. And then sometimes people want to join all of them. We'll let them join all of them. Some people just want to join the Kukkiwon. We can just join you in the Kukkiwon. Some people don't care nothing about the Kukkiwon, the Bureau, whatever. We just want your signature, Master Sam. I can do that for you too. A lot of my students tell me, I don't care nothing about these federations. I just want to get my black belt. I don't care about a piece of paper. And I have to tell them, no, you need a piece of paper. Don't worry. I'll give you the piece of paper. We're going to give you the piece of paper. We're going to give you that certificate. So let's get you a certificate. So with that said, God bless everybody. Godspeed. And long live the World Black Belt Federation. World Black Belt Bureau. I'm about to say it right. God bless. Godspeed.